She said, I'm going out with my girlfriends for margaritas at the Holiday Inn. And oh, have mercy, my only thought was tequila makes her clothes fall off. I told her put an extra layer on.
Hi, this is Liz Weirauch of the Angler's Edge, and we wanted to share with you a new material technique with synthetic materials. We've been using this technique on our guide flies for probably 8 or 9 years, and we've developed one fly, the A.D.D. or A.D.D, now known as the Tequila Twist. It's a San Juan worm, more like the nematodes, and being more realistic. They've been using it for steelhead as egg clusters. Works really well. Best part is that during the with the Tequila Twist with the bead, we usually use a small tungsten bead. We'll actually put this down as a hopper dropper. The hopper dropper, this will actually not kick up like a standard San Juan or a wired San Juan. And so it's a real good fly, real good technique. This can be used for egg clusters. It can be used for legs and wings. It's a pretty cool way to manipulate a material. So we'll get started here. So using a bodkin that you don't want to use anymore, because we're actually going to ruin this tip pretty much, put this into your vise and get it in there good and tight. And then we're going to use about 15 to 18 inches of the ultra chenille, the micro, and a lighter, and your English hackle pliers. Clip this on the end. You can also use hemostats to hold this down. And take your lighter and start heating up this bodkin using the blue portion of the flame. So when I'm tying these for our shop, I usually get this heated up pretty good, and it will get really hot, so don't be touching this bodkin. But because of time constraints in the video, I won't be heating this up as much for the video. So taking your chenille, start wrapping it around, and don't twist it. So grab it from the front, throw it over, grab it from the back, bring it to the front. And this way it'll prevent a twist going into the chenille. Now most likely this bodkin is cooled down, so I'm going to heat it back up with the blue portion of the flame. I'm not going to get it really close to the chenille, and then continue my wrap. And then I heat it up again. And what we're doing here is we're actually ironing and putting a memory into the synthetic material. So most all the synthetic materials will actually take this memory. So you can do it with all kinds of different synthetic materials. You just have to be careful of the heat that's applied. Once again, being careful not to touch that bodkin with my fingers because it really is hot. Using a second English hackle plier, I'm just going to clip into there, drop that, and nip off the remaining chenille. You can certainly wrap this or just do standard San Juans with it. So the next thing we want to do is we've got ironed the inside, we want to iron the outside, and without touching the flame to the material, we want to heat that up. So that's why I've got a rotary vise. You can certainly take the bodkin out and do it by hand and not use the vise. So I'm going to just use the blue portion of the flame and get that right next to the material and rotate that and just heat it up. You don't want to scorch the material. So what I'll do is I'll put that to the side and we'll let it cool down. And I can talk to you about the other materials that we've used. This is actually a standard medium or large chenille. This is great for the bigger flies, the bigger egg clusters. This is actually the cord sparkle chenille. This is standard ultra chenille. You can do this on most every material. You just need to make sure that you're not heating it so much that you burn through it. So let's go ahead and use this material. This is cooled down. Take these pliers off, and if you just take it and I of course was wrapping clockwise. I'm going to start taking this off clockwise, just giving a little bit of slack, and then pull it off. Let's see. I don't want to just pull it right off the bodkin. So just take it, give it a pull. And there it is. So let's tie a fly with it. Clip the end. You want to try to burn your ends before you put any type of glues or anything like that on it, because the head cement that I use, I like hard as hull. Also, I'll dip these into Softex. It'll maintain this curl for the life of the fly, dipping in Softex, and so you don't want to burn with either one of those on the fly. You'll just have a huge flame. So normally you use any type of caddis hook, 24, 87, 57, 88, 89, and you can certainly use a straight hook. But the thread base, especially for the beginners, let me show you a little secret on getting a nice thread base. Tag end, and when you wrap this on, if you keep your tag end on and don't nip it off at this point, just leave your tag end and go perpendicular to the hook and you wrap, you'll actually be stacking that thread up. Let's loosen this up just a little bit. So you want a good thread base because this is going to be exposed, and you can certainly wrap the chenille around the hook and then take your tag end off. So we want to have about 2 or 3 or 4 coils of this twist exposed on the back and on the front. Myself, when I tie for our box, normally what I'll do is I'll tie a worm a little bit longer for the customers, and so it's up to them if they want to go ahead and make it shorter. So I want to do about 2 wraps in here for each coil. So there's that coil's down, lift it up, get to the next coil, 2 wraps in that coil, and then just continue on. If you really want a really good strong one, heck, you can probably whip finish in between each coil, and this thing would never come apart after being put in Softex. I mean, it would take a lot to destroy this. So wrapping in each coil, the one to put a little bump in it, I can just push back on it. I've got a little bump in it now. Good messy little worm. So get a whip finish on this. I'm going to go ahead and nip this off 3 or 4 coils back. Great worm. So go ahead and very gently burn off this end so it doesn't ravel. And you've got some choices here. You can, if you just put head cement here along the thread base, right back in here, it's great. If not, go ahead. I'll actually dip mine in Softex, and that's just gonna hold this entire ironing process. Great worm. So let me get this in Softex. And let's see, there they are. Hemostats. Give it a good dip. You can soak it if you like. That way it'll be penetrated into the chenille. Just go ahead and take off some of the extra. There's the Tequila Twist. I've gone ahead, and this is a standard chenille, and I've gone ahead and wrapped it on the bodkin before, and this is what it comes out to be. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a big tungsten bead, 3/16 on it. That'll give us some weight to come down on the bottom. And we'll push that bead as we do the thread base to the center of the hook. And I have to nip that off. Wrap it around to the other side and continue down with the thread base. And I'll nip that end off, turn it. So on the egg clusters, we'll, instead of just laying it down and doing a couple wraps in each coil, what we'll do is we'll actually make some bunches on this. So I'm going to keep this tag end a little short. And then go ahead and bunch this up just a little bit. So take about 3 coils and wrap those down. So it's more like an egg cluster. Certainly can put some down on the bottom, or just more along the side. Another little bunch. And I do an anchor wrap underneath it, come forward again. Let's put that one down there. A little anchor, come to the front, tie it down, nip it off, get a good whip finish on it. And then to keep this shape, we're going to go ahead and we'll actually dip this in the Softex and then set it off to dry. It'll take a couple hours to a really good, for a real good dry. If you're in any place that actually has a lot more humidity in the air, it'll certainly take longer. But I've just got it here in the Softex. Wipe it down a little bit, put it off to the side. And that's the Steelhead egg cluster, using the same process that we developed for the Tequila Twist. So this is the Tequila Twist, and hope you guys enjoyed learning a new way to manipulate some of the synthetic materials. And if you're in the Eastern Sierra, swing by the shop, say hi. Follow us on Facebook. It's www.facebook.com/theanglersedge. And thanks for watching, guys.